Hey everybody, just going to shoot a little demo here and show you how I've been doing my grayscale work. There's a bunch of different ways of going about it, so I'm just going to kind of show you the general gist of it. So basically I pencil something out, and then using my fountain pen I will, and given this is zombies, it can be pretty scratchy. And basically I just line out the shape, right? Pretty simple, And again, he's pretty shaky, so it really doesn't matter. He's a zombie. And once I get the shape in using general ink line, so he's pretty good like so. Then I'll switch over to a water brush. Looks like this, holds water. These are cheap as heck. You can get them all over the place. And now the ink had not had time to dry, so now you can just smush it around, and you're going to get some variation of grays almost immediately, depending on how much ink is sitting there. And if you squeeze it a little bit, you get more water. You don't want to do that right away, obviously, because it'll get too wet. And then basically I'm getting my starting gray, so to speak. So that would be like a starting gray. The other thing you can do is, if you're doing like a particular spot is on the edge of the page, you can build up a little bit of ink like so. Take the brush like so, and if you want it dark, you just dip it, and now you have dark. And just pop in a dark like that, right? Pop in a dark like that, and just spread it. And once you get it to this area, what I usually do is on the side again, I'll get the brush a little wetter, and that way I can really smudge it around and get more variation of the gray before it gets too dry. And that's the basic technique. It's actually pretty simple. The other way you can also do it, obviously, is instead of using a fountain pen, I could, if I was doing a little more larger area, I could use a inking brush with ink, put in X amount of ink, and then wash it out slowly into whatever I'm doing. So that's another way of doing it. So that's the simple technique for doing this. It's really pretty mindless. Doesn't take much to do. A couple of people asked me about it, so by example, I'll show you again. I'm going to add more to make his chest area more dark, just to start with. All right, we'll just scribble some ink in. And you're gonna go over this a bunch of times before it gets to the actual shade you want, probably. And now I can really just practically fill him in, right? Now I have to be careful because I don't want to get him too dark in certain areas. So once I got that, I'll go off to the side again, unload a bunch of water and ink, so it's very wet, and now I can get it more wet and gray, because you want to build up. You don't want to try to get there all at once, because it will not make you happy. Also, you have to use a good quality paper. This is pretty dense multimedia, not media, paper, so it can handle some water for a period, and then you just let it dry once in a while, and you're off to the races, so to speak. So I'm just kind of dotting around, you know, picking up ink off the side. It's like, okay, make that a little darker, you know, and I'll just work that in until I get closer to what I want. And then, as detailing, once I get all the grays in that I like and everything's all great and groovy, I can go back in with my fountain pen and using an edge stroke. In other words, I'll demo that here. This is a straight stroke. It would be this way. Edge stroke is this way. So you can, and a light touch, so you can get really fine lines. And I'll maybe do some little cross-hatching details and whatnot on the character's face or whatever. And if I would need to, I can always go back in, just touch it with water, and it softens it immediately. So that's my basic technique that I'm using for doing grayscale, which I don't do very often. I should do it more often because it looks great when it comes out good. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, and this one I'll probably leave up on my regular account and my Facebook page, the GWeber Arts page, so that people can see it occasionally. All right, bye.